Today on Straight Talk Africa, America is choosing its candidates for president. Mitt Romney has received the Republican Party's nomination. President Barack Obama will officially get the Democratic Party's nomination for re-election this week. Today on Straight Talk Africa, we'll look at the candidates, their views on African-U.S. relations, and the upcoming vote. All that and more next on Straight Talk Africa. Hello, welcome to Straight Talk Africa, live from the Voice of America studios here in Washington. It's Wednesday, September 5. I am Shaka. Today, we'll update you on the political conventions leading up to electing a president of the United States. The Republicans have concluded their nominating convention, and the Democratic Party convention is underway in Charlotte, North Carolina. VOA's Caroline Pesuti is there and filed this report.
Bloodshed on the ground in Syria. The Republicans claim Democrats are ignoring the slaughter and not doing enough. On the fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq, Democrats countercharge that Republicans don't want to end the conflicts there and are apt to start wars in Iran and Syria. President Obama signed a New START treaty with Russia in 2010. His challenger Mitt Romney said that could be Mr. Obama's worst foreign policy mistake. The Republican nominee says it puts America's security at stake and accedes to Russian demands. Former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, who served in a Democratic administration, says the difference in the two parties is that Democrats choose to use diplomacy rather than force.
It is essential to listen to other countries, to work on issues together. That is a sign of America's strength.
Condoleezza Rice held the same position, Secretary of State, in a Republican administration. At the Republican convention last week, she said President Obama hasn't made his foreign policy clear.
My fellow Americans, we do not have a choice. We cannot be reluctant to lead, and you cannot lead from behind.
Mr. Obama is expected to reveal more of a second-term foreign policy when he gives his acceptance speech here at the Democratic Convention on Thursday. The woman who lives with the president and has his ear every night fired up the 6,000 delegates at the Democratic National Convention. First Lady Michelle Obama delivered a sometimes passionate message.
For Barack, these issues aren't political. They're personal. Barack knows the American dream because he's lived it.
She related the stories of her own and her husband's humble beginnings and the bond they feel toward the women whose hard work and determination led them to the White House.
Because for Barack, success isn't about how much money you make. It's about the difference you make in people's lives.
Women delegates express admiration for Mrs. Obama as a role model who represents their values. Changing demographics in some regions have made another group, Hispanic, a strong force for Democrats. This year, a record number of Latinos are here at the convention, 800 delegates. That's a lot fewer than at the Republican convention. Also making history here, the first Latino to give a keynote address, Julian Castro.
Ours is a nation like no other.
He is the mayor of San Antonio, Texas, a son of Mexican immigrants. And here he is a critic of the Republican presidential nominee.
When it comes to getting the middle class back to work, Mitt Romney says no. When it comes to respecting women's rights, Mitt Romney says no.
After speakers here rallied Hispanics and women, former President Bill Clinton makes a return on Wednesday, as in 2008. The campaign hopes his popularity will rub off on an incumbent who polls show is in a dead heat with his opponent. Caroline Pesuti, VOA News, Charlotte, North Carolina.